episode 400 of Global from Asia. It's great content talking about product launch, and there's a cat right here. Meow. Let's tune into the show.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight up actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
Episode 400, we got a treat for you. My friend and regular guest, Chris Thomas, the Australian seller, and Regina is here, and they're doing an awesome event in Bali, Indonesia in June, so it's a great excuse to get them on the show and sharing, of course, about this amazing event that's coming up, as well as to share about product launch in 2023. Chris has done a little private session for me in the past for the Excalibur Brothers brand launch, and now we are giving you some free info. It's going to be a fun one. And also, of course, after the show, talk about Cross Border Summit as well. But today we're focusing on this Bali retreat, June 18th to the 22nd. Regina will share about it in the interview. Let's tune in. All right, we have Tommy, the sales manager at Cross Better Logistics. How are you, Tommy?
Hi, everyone.
We just got to meet here in Shenzhen, China. It's great. They support the show at Global from Asia, and we also use them ourselves for many of our brands and e-commerce businesses. And Tommy really cares. They always are trying to help us save money. You know, you have some products you keep for us in China. You have some products you keep for us in the U.S. warehouse, and I really appreciate that. And you can talk to this seller, right? You can give them your advice. You work with many Chinese sellers a lot, right? And you can help the sellers understand more.
Yeah, we are very professional for the shipment to USA and Canada. Also, we have warehouse in USA and Canada. We can help our factories, suppliers, sellers for the shipment.
Yes.
Yeah, for the e-commerce business.
Yep, and you even keep stuff in China too. So sometimes if you have the limitations about sending too much to Amazon, you can keep it here in China with Cross Better, or you can send it, of course, to the U.S. warehouse. They have many different options, and they're always trying their best to find out what's the best solution for you. So definitely talk to Tommy, talk to Cross Better, and thank you for your support of the community.
Yes, we have good pricing and better service.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everybody for choosing to listen to Global from Asia. I think this is going to be episode 400 because we're discussing the order. So this might be in the 400th episode.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it will be. We've been discussing when to put this one out, and I think it's 400. So it's a great one. Chris has been on at least twice. I think at least twice before. I know he's been active at least, you know, over the years. So it's great to have Chris here and Regina. So today we're talking about product launch, but first we got some cool stuff about an amazing experience, right? Event or experience. So maybe Regina, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, Mike. For those who don't know me on your call, my name is Regina Peterbergsky. I've been an Amazon seller since 2015, so quite a while, been around the block a few times. And one of the most amazing things that I did when I first started and reached a level of success, so it took me 14 months to do my first $1 million, but sort of in that time, I started going to events and masterminds and meeting people who were far more successful than me. But I was traveling to America and Mexico, and it was, you know, quite an expensive exercise from Australia.
Sure.
And so a couple of years ago, Chris and I decided to do something similar in Australia. And we did two, and we called them the Amazon Collective Mastermind Retreat. And we did two last year here in Melbourne. And this year, in a little bit over 5 weeks' time, I think it is, depending on when this episode goes out, we're actually holding our first international one in Ubud in Bali. So this is a working holiday, I guess, with far more emphasis on the work than the holiday.
Sure.
But it's an opportunity for higher level sellers to work on their business and mingle with other high-level sellers, plus some amazing international guests that we have this year. I first must mention our fabulous sponsors, Payoneer and Intrepid Advisory, who are part of the reason we're able to make this happen. Guests for this event, Bradley Sutton, who most people in the Amazon space know, Kirsty Verity, who is my personal inspiration for getting into Amazon. And in fact, during our event will be her 10-year anniversary of selling on Amazon.
10 years.
So, and she actually started her business in Bali. So it's going to be a very nice circle for her. And she's bringing her husband, who is a 7-figure seller himself, and apparently is getting a lot into the AI bots and how they work for Amazon sellers. So he's got some content around that. We've got the king of launching and ranking, aside from Chris, Leo Scovio, who is, I've known Leo for a very long time, and he's always been at the cutting edge of what's going on with launching. And this time he's going to be talking about influencers and using influencers to help propel your brand and user-generated content. Who
Steve Simonson.
Oh, and of course, the gentleman of the e-commerce space, Steve Simonson, and what he doesn't know about e-commerce is not worth knowing. I mean, Steve, I sort of think that, and, we can confirm this when we see him in Bali, that, the minute they put the on switch on the internet, he had the first website selling stuff ready to go. So he's been in the e-commerce space for a very long time, including Amazon, and he's in the big box stores. He's got a massive operation himself selling online. And as I said, like, what he doesn't know is not worth knowing. And I think at the moment he's also into the AI space, and his passion is really helping entrepreneurs to grow.
Yeah.
And so he's, as I said, like a real gentleman. So even though he doesn't need to do anything, he basically spends his time these days giving back and helping entrepreneurs achieve the next level. So, getting into a room with those guys. Oh, plus, of course, we've got George Marissa. Thank you, Chris, from Clear Ads, who is a PPC specialist. So, we've got people that are able to help you to level up your business, whether you're a 6-figure seller wanting to go up to 7, or a 7-figure seller going up to 8. So that's our event. And of course, with these events, the real stuff happens, in the room when you're meeting and talking to other people at breakfast, at lunch, at dinner. It's not just the speakers, it's the other participants in the room, and making those long-term relationships. Most of the guests that we've had at the last event and at this one were people that I have personally met at events that I've done in the past. And, and it's invaluable forming those relationships for both business and personal. Right. There you go. There's my spiel.
That's good.
Come join us.
Awesome. What are the dates, Regina? What were the dates?
The dates are the 18th. So it's Sunday the 18th, and we start in the evening with cocktails, and we finish on Thursday the 22nd of June, and we finish with lunch.
Excellent.
So
what else?
We have 3.5 days. Most of those are in session. We do have a couple of secret surprises off the venue.
Activities, yeah.
Very exciting Bali-centric activities that are going to help to bond you with your fellow participants. And we don't record anything. The event is not recorded. So what happens in Bali stays in Bali. What else?
We've got transfers are included.
That's it, yes. So, pretty much what we expect is for people to show up with their laptop and a positive attitude and intention to learn. And we provide pretty much everything else: accommodation, food, transfers, your flights. But that's a little more details. If people are interested, the website is theaustralianseller.com/Bali, and they can apply, and we can talk to them to see if it's, if it is more appropriate for your business at this time to come join us, because we do have, limited numbers. There's only 5 spots still available as of this recording. So if it is something that you might be interested in, hit the apply button and we'll jump on a call and chat to you to see if it's right for you.
Perfect.
It's really exciting.
Nice one.
There we go.
That was well done. That's a great
Think I've done this before?
Yeah, I think you might have. That was awesome. Cool.
And then Chris, I mean, I've known, I think a lot of people remember you from the shows, but the Australian Seller podcast, you were up in Hong Kong for a bit where we got to hang out a couple times, which was fun. And
we did. That's where we met. I was living there for a couple of years. I was just passing through, basically, like many Hong Kong, expats. And I was there as a trailing spouse, as they're known. So I was looking after the kids while my wife at the time had a high-powered job with a company called Telstra, which is an Australian telco.
Nice.
So, yeah, and that was where, having left Australia, I left behind a high-powered job running an agency. It was all about SEO and advertising, online advertising and stuff like that. And I was stressing out and hated it. I didn't hate it, but I was a bit high pressured. And so it was really lovely to get to Hong Kong and then actually work on my e-commerce business and grow that into something that was pretty substantial by the time I left Hong Kong, and certainly continued to grow when I got back to Australia. And, like a lot of people, I wanted to give back a bit. And so that's when the podcast began in 2017 and began to build a community on Facebook and, just been around the joint, just, helping people. And I've got a little agency here in Australia as well called Amosphere, and I help Australian and international consumer brands to sell on Amazon. So yeah, I'm in the trenches most days with, what's going on there. Yeah.
I've been calling it I call it gladiator, in the trenches.
Yeah.
We're e-commerce gladiators.
100%.
In the Amazon arena, but it's definitely never a dull day. Never a dull day.
No.
Awesome. And so
thanks for having me too, Mike. It's great to be back.
Of course.
Sorry.
Of course. We'll go back a long time.
For having us.
I was just going to say, we're, jump into some tactics, some strategies. Even I'm interested to hear about launching in 2023. It's not like, when we're all older sellers here, we miss the old day. At least I'll speak for myself, but I miss the old days. I don't know if you would agree.
the good old grey hat days.
But I think
things have changed a lot.
It's almost like hoping and praying. And I don't know if you want to talk. Maybe we can talk about it later. But I feel like some sellers are dirty. I feel like some of these reviews we get are not real. There's negative reviews. I don't know. I don't think they're real customers giving me some low ratings, honestly. I don't want to get into that. Maybe it's truly a real customer, but I feel like some of these reviews are not legit personally.
They can definitely sink a product launch from the get-go. It can make it really difficult to get going if things aren't going right. So I've got a couple of little strategies around that, which we can talk about today as well.
Sure, maybe later we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But product launch 2023, what are the
hacks? Oh, no, there are no hacks.
What are some
it's
of
all
your
hard work.
thoughts?
Well, obviously, I'm just going to talk today about the white hat ways that we launch our brands and our brand, the brands that we look after and their products, including our own products. So, and I have a lot of students as well. So I do a lot of private coaching. And so I help them with the launches that they have for their products that they've selected and sourced and whatnot. I think probably the number one thing that I would say before we even get into product launching is that if you are going to launch a product, and you'd be crazy not to, is to set the max order quantity in your inventory. So that's the maximum amount that someone can buy from you to like 2 units, 3 max. Like I have a checklist of launch stuff. And the first thing that I always insist needs to happen is that the max order quantity has a limit. And the reason for that
why is that, Chris? Do you have personal experience with that?
I might have some personal experience with that, Regina, having lost $45,000 in 45 minutes, where people just ordered. I had a coupon code back in the old days, which we're not talking about today. Back in the old days, we used to use coupon codes to launch, and I'd forgotten to add a max order quantity. It's actually a slightly different story to that, but people were just buying like 100 units at a time, and I lost $53,000 of inventory in 45 minutes. Managed to get Amazon to cancel a few hundred units. These are $60 products, by the way. And eventually it ended up being, I think it was 398 products at $60 each. So I did the mass 42 grand plus Amazon FBA fees to ship all these free products to the nasty people that picked them up for free. So max order quantity, 2, 3 tops, just to stop any bleeding or limit some of the damage that may or may not happen during a launch if you're going super aggressive. All right, first tip. Now, what I like to do is a 2-step launch at the moment. So what that involves is getting your first reviews through Vine. So your inventory arrives at Amazon. As soon as it gets there, you open up the listing for a few days. Generally, it takes maybe up to a week so that Vine reviewers can actually get the product. The listing needs to be open for a Vine reviewer to be able to get hold of the product and have it shipped to them. All right. The maximum amount of Vine reviews that you can obtain on your listing or for your product is 30. Okay. And at the moment, there's a limit of like 200 Vine reviews that you can have in total. But I usually recommend about 30 units with Vine reviews. And as soon as all those Vine reviews or most of them have been claimed, I'll shut the listing down to preserve what's known as the honeymoon period. Okay. So not sure how many of your listeners know about honeymoon period. I'm sure many do, but
some believe it, some don't believe it. I guess
I believe it. 100% believe it. I think if the sales history of a product is terrible, it's almost impossible once the product's in a death spiral to be able to re-rank it no matter what you do. It's possible, but it's very expensive. So big fan of the honeymoon. So preserve the honeymoon, and then listing is closed. You still obviously have the option to relist, and that's what we'll be doing. But what we're waiting for is those reviews to come in. So Mike, you were talking about the bad reviews that come in potentially from bad actors. If your product is okay, it's a good product, then Vine reviewers will be very fair generally in their reviews. And so you can have 30 reviews sitting there, and so your product is actually sitting at 4.5, 4 to 5 stars if you're lucky, to get before you even launch. So you're not launching cold. You're launching with a solid base of 30 reviews or thereabouts. And then it's at that point as those reviews begin to drift in, and you've probably got about 10 to 15 of those reviews coming in. That might take 2 to 3 weeks. It can take a while. Be patient. That's when we go for launch. And then there's a few different ways that we can do that. So does that sound and make sense?
Yeah. So maybe I'll reiterate and then interpret and see if I understand it correctly. But you use the Vine to launch, which is, basically the Amazon's own unboxing not really unboxing, but review program. It's like what we used to do before is now done through Amazon, through Vine, but I think most people know Vine. But then you're only really expecting those people you only want those people to do the review or to buy it. So then you turn the listing off while they're getting it so that you keep that juice of the honeymoon.
That's right.
And then once you get enough reviews,
correct,
you kind of reopen the listing. Right.
Yeah. And that's when you go for launch. So this is really borrowing, I wouldn't call it borrowing, but just really building on what Bradley Sutton has talked about in the past with the Maldives honeymoon and the Maldives launch method. Okay. So what he likes to do, and this is certainly what I recommend to everybody that I'm working with, is and this bit hurts. So we're going to go into the red before we go into the black. So I strongly recommend that you discount the product so it is an irresistible price. All right. That's super important. So if your product's $30, honestly, sell the thing for 15. Like, just be cheaper than everybody else, so that even though you may not have as many reviews as other people, what you're trying to do during the launch phase, I'm going to talk about exactly how we get traffic to the listing. There's a few different ways, but during the launch phase, we need the conversion rate to be very high. I want to just reiterate or recap just the basics of how Amazon's algorithm works in the 3 kind of most simplest, I guess, parts that really move the algorithm. Velocity of sales. Get a lot of sales in a short amount of time when you launch. Okay. That's one thing the algorithm loves. It likes to see a lot of sales compared to competitors. You're either matching or even exceeding the amount of sales that they're getting over a certain time frame, usually about 8 days. Number 2 is the conversion rate of the listing. Okay, so Amazon's conversion rate algorithm is different to, say, like Google. So if someone orders, let's say you get one order and someone orders 2 products, and why are they getting 2 products, Mike? Because you've set the max order quantity to 2. The conversion rate is 200%. I know it sounds weird, but Amazon sort of calculates conversion rate based on the units that have been ordered, not the order itself and the fact that someone bought something. So if you can get the conversion rate nice and high, that's a really, really good thing. And then the last thing is sales through keywords. That's really important. I'm just going to emphasize this again. Sales through keywords equals rankings. All right. Sales through keywords equals rankings. One of the benefits of Amazon, particularly when it comes to Amazon advertising, is that as opposed to, say, Google ads, where there is a Chinese wall, forgive the pun, between the Google Ads world and the SEO world, the algorithm, the organic search results. With Amazon, it's all blended together. So where this is heading is that you generate a master keyword list for your listing. You should have done that when you optimize the listing at the beginning. So you'll have a master keyword list. It's probably about anywhere between maybe 10 to sort of 30 keywords that are highly relevant to what your product is. What you want to do is grab 10, no more than 10 of those keywords. These are kind of seed keywords. They all typically are very tightly related to what your product does or is. You want to select those keywords. They are going to be your exact match keywords for your advertising for an exact match sponsored products campaign. That's it. All right. So we're bidding on 10 keywords. Amazon is going to have the suggested bids for each of those keywords. You know, it might be $1.15 or it might be $2.30 or something. You want to double those bid amounts. So whatever Amazon suggests, you double it. And the other thing that you want to set up in your advertising as well is the bid plus or the bid multiplier. And you need to set that to 100%. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to guarantee that your product is going to show at the top of Amazon for your best keywords, most relevant keywords for that product. Okay. So here's what's happening. Let's draw a little picture. We've got customers going to Amazon. They're typing in highly relevant keywords for your product. They see your ad at the top of the search results, not buried somewhere else. They see you've got 30 reviews and you're probably half price of everybody else. What the hell are they going to do? They're going to buy your product. They're just going to buy it. Like, you don't give them any choice. So what that does is you get the sales through your core group of keywords. You get the sales velocity that you're after. You get the conversion rate that you want, and you're getting sales through the keywords as they come through the ads. And you put all that together, and I guarantee in 8 days, you are going to rank for all those keywords, and you're going to rank for a bunch of other keywords that are kind of related. Amazon gives you an opportunity, sort of starts ranking you for other keywords that are related to your core group of keywords, these 10 keywords or so that you're bidding on. And I've done this so many times, and it works every single time. So that's my number one ranking strategy. It is expensive, but you know, in 12 months' time, when that product's a runaway success, you've locked the rankings in. So a lot of sellers make the mistake of they launch with an automatic campaign. All right. What happens there is that if you do that, and this is what I used to do, you launch with an automatic campaign, all of a sudden you start getting these sales through keywords that are kind of unrelated to what the product is. And I'm sure we've all seen it. If you're looking at your search term report, your auto campaign, you'll see that you've got weird sales through strange keywords. And Amazon's like going, well, you're kind of relevant for that kind of weird keyword over here, and you're sort of relevant for these ones that you probably should be relevant for, but customers are buying through these different keywords. You always get these random sales through irrelevant keywords, and that just kills you, I reckon, in the long term. So don't go hunting for keywords right at the beginning of your launch. You do that later once you've the algorithm's locked you in as that bunch of keywords and related keywords to that core list. Super important.
Got it.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I guess for the red and the bleeding, you know, what kind of, I know you probably won't be cheaper than all of them, but maybe I know make them buy, not think about it, but any kind of rule of thumb, percent loss or discounts or?
Well, you've got two things going on cost-wise. You've got the discount that you're offering, and you've also got the advertising. And then you've got to also probably throw in some Vine as well. You know, you've got $200 to enroll in Vine to get your first 30 reviews, plus you're giving away all of, the 30 products as well, plus the FBA costs on top. So there's a lot of red ink at the beginning of a launch. What's super important is that so you should be tracking your rankings on your core group of keywords, this master list, to see where you're ranking. So Helium 10, there's a bunch of ranking tools out there that'll do it for you. But what you don't want to do is then go, okay, after 8 days, I'm ranking everywhere. This is fantastic. And then suddenly go from a $15 product to a $30 product and get up to where you want to be, you know, where your RRP actually probably needs to be profitable. And the reason for that is because Amazon's going to take away the buy box. And that's going to kill you straight away. So you need to, as the rankings start to flow through and you start to see climbing up onto page 1, top 5, top 10, it's at that point that you need to start inching the price up. So I generally go by a couple of dollars per day, depending on the price of the product. You know, if it's $100 product and I'm at $50, I can probably afford to jump maybe, 10%, 15% up to maybe $60, something like that. And just sort of every couple of days, just keep inching it up, but keep an eye on the buy box because Amazon will suppress it and you won't have the featured offer box. So, and then you just creep up to your target. And then it's at that point as well that I start to do a lot more broad advertising. So, I'll be opening up like a phrase match campaign, a broad match campaign, an automatic campaign with super low bids, and really allowing the organic sales to really pick up the heavy or do all the heavy, as much of the heavy lifting as possible. And then winding back all of those really expensive bids that were all happening in the exact match campaign, I'm winding all those right back to something that's a hell of a lot more sustainable from an ACOS or a ROAS point of view. So, trying to get that sort of classic TACOS, around that sort of 10 to 12 at worst, or maybe ACOS at 20%. Look, it just depends on the profitability of the product. So you've got to work those numbers out for yourself. But ideally what you're doing is that you're advertising. Remember the sales through the keywords? You're still getting a few of those. And what they do is they help maintain the ranking positions that you enjoyed when you launched.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, there's that. And then, of course, the classic influencer approach as well. And there's lots of people, as Regina mentioned, Leo Segovia talks a lot about influencer marketing. In one of our previous events as well, we had Norm Farrar and also Paul Barron is a big TikTok advertising guy. Definitely reach out to Paul if you need help. Paul Harvey's another great resource as well, a good friend of Regina's. Hopefully we'll be coming to one of our next collective events too.
I keep trying to get Harves to come.
He's great. He's a weapon, isn't he?
Maybe next time I'll convince him.
Yeah, come on. But so influencer marketing, is also a great way of doing it as well, as long as you find the right influencers. Now, I'm not an expert in influencer marketing and I'm probably not the right person to speak to. So I'd probably recommend, Mike, that you find somebody like a Paul Harvey or a Leo to come on the show and really talk about all the strategies. That's why I'm going to Bali, to learn from Leo and understand more about influencer marketing and how it might apply to my Amazon business. So, but influencers are awesome. Of course, I strongly recommend too that everybody has an insert card. You try to build your own audience. You're trying to get people from Amazon. So they've ordered your product. They've got an insert card. There's a call to action on that insert card to either register for a warranty or lots of different ways that you can encourage people to sign up to your list. And that makes the launch much easier in the future because they're your audience. You're not having to use an Amazon advertising campaign and an influencer that you might be paying. Paul Harvey last year, though, did talk about how he shares the brand referral bonus with his influencers, which is pretty cute. So he might say,
Paul
look, I'm going to give you...
Paul Barron, sorry.
Oh, Paul Harvey, I'm sorry. Paul Barron, I apologize. Thank you, Regina.
Mixing up your Pauls.
I am. I'm so sorry. Thanks. I'm so glad you're here with me. But Paul Barron, the way that he makes his influencers really come to the party in terms of promoting his product for launch, or just a boost during some sale event or whatever, is that he offers them the brand referral bonus that Amazon provides, having registered for the brand referral bonus. So he might say, look, I'll give you $500 flat rate, and any sales that you generate, you get the brand referral bonus of an extra 10%. And that is a really incentivizing offer for an influencer as well. I thought that was a bit of a golden gem out of our last collective.
Nice.
So attribution is obviously, if you're running traffic from outside of Amazon, then you want to be tracking it for your return on investment and attribution and understanding how that traffic's performing. And that can all be done through either Amazon attribution, creating the special links that you'll see in the back end of your advertising world, or indeed through the brand referral bonus section as well. So make sure you sign up for that. Get a free 10%. Do $1 million in sales, you get $100,000 back. Happy days, right? Some of the other things that we've done as well is this is a sort of a little known one, is a social promotion, which is a bit hit and miss, but it's certainly something that you can think about. A little bit it's kind of where you generate a social media promotional link through the promotion section of the advertising area of your Seller Central account, and make sure that you include actual Amazon influencers as well in that group so that they are notified of your campaign, this discount that you're offering. And that can really help with things like Amazon Lives and other social media influencers that Amazon has in its world. I say that's a bit hit and miss because not all social influencers on Amazon are going to pick up your offer. They just might not be attractive enough to them. So sometimes you've got to submit it again and again to try and get someone to bite. But I've seen those work really well. Bradley Sutton's a big fan of that.
Okay.
What else have I got in my bag of tricks? Product targeting ads as well. That was another way that I launched a product recently for one of my clients. They sell candy, like bags of candy, really boring, but tasty. And we were able to create a 3-pound bag of candy that had the same ingredients as one of main competitors, which had a 2-pound bag. They were selling their 2-pound bag at $25, and we could still make a profit selling them for $19.95. So they had 24,000 reviews and we had none. So we went after them. I put a great big product targeting ad right on their listing and just said, we're offering more value. We had big 3 pounds written on the front of the bag.
Nice.
And people could see that it had the same ingredients, and it just took off just off the back of the traffic that they had on their listing already.
That's really
so
good.
Yeah, if you're offering better value and stuff like that, and certainly during launch you should be. Yeah, we got that product ranking beautifully just off the velocity and the keyword optimization on the listing.
I remember we did a private session, if you remember, for our Blimp program we did.
That's right.
That was showing that one. That was great.
Yeah, that was a fun launch. So,
but I think
you got any questions? I'm kind of running out of launch tactics.
I mean,
I'm sure there are many others.
I mean, I can clarify or sometimes reiterate, but maybe just to go back to social promotion. So that helps tap into the Amazon influencers automatically, or you still got to find them and reach out to them? I didn't catch that.
No, it actually, Amazon I believe, because I'm not an influencer, so I don't know what exactly happens on the other side of creating these promotional codes. But there is a little checkbox there that says, do you want to let Amazon influencers know about this promotion? And of course, you leave that well and truly checked. And what you're hoping is that, somebody who's like a Facebook Live, man, woman, person, picks it up, sees it. I'm not sure how they're notified about it, but I'm sure they are. Yeah, and shares it. Actually promotes your product for you.
Got it.
So that can be really cool as well, because they get paid. The more they sell, they're associates, right?
Yeah,
so they make their 2% commission generally on any sales that they generate. As Paul was saying from Paul Barron, they get 2% affiliate commission as well as a 10% brand referral bonus that you're offering. That's just like 5 times what they normally get. That's just irresistible to an influencer. So and Amazon's paying.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
For once, I think that's like a unique situation. Very unique.
It is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, the flip side of this, of course, is the reason that Amazon does that is because that's a part of Amazon's customer acquisition drive, right? They want external traffic. They want you to drive new customers to their platform to buy stuff and become their customers. So, that's the way to do it. When I was up actually on the Gold Coast in Australia recently, I also got to talking with Tim Jordan and the team there from Carbon 6, and they were talking about their Pixel Me, I think it is, a Pixel 5Me or Pixel Me tool as well. They do a lot of launching using that particular strategy, using influencers. Strongly recommend that you either get Tim or Clayton Atchison on the show to talk about how that launch method works, because it's really, really powerful. Awesome. And you get to cookie all these, like all the influencers that they reach out to influencers. They do all the things I was talking about, but they give the influencer a special link that they generate through the software that they have. And what that does is that when someone clicks that link to, visit an Amazon product page, it drops a cookie, and that cookie then brings that audience member, the influencer's fan. They then have access to be able to advertise to that fan later. So they're kind of stealing the influencer's kind of audience using the tracking pixel. Just some really, really high level stuff that's probably gone a little bit over my head, but yeah, it certainly looked really powerful. So yeah.
Well, maybe we can just bucket some of these to help listeners and us. It's different categories, right? So generally you're kind of, what you've been sharing mostly is the on Amazon launch tactics. Influencers is like more of an off Amazon strategy, but then you also kind of got me interested in social promotion. I don't think, honestly, I have a couple people on our team doing stuff now. I'm not as in the ops So I have to check if we're doing that, but I have a feeling not. But that seems like kind of like a mix because you're using the Amazon influencers network.
That's right.
So I got to study.
Yeah, I'd like to learn more about it as well. Certainly, how influencers are even kind of find out about promotions that we might be offering.
I'm on Amazon, so actually, I don't know if you think it helps or not, but I do my own video unboxing as an influencer, and I hope I don't get in trouble with Amazon. I don't think so, but I use my buyer account influencer to leave unboxing video for a lot of my products. I also do it for other people's products too, just because I like to help them. But I'm an influencer in Amazon, and I can put videos on the listing. So
that's cool.
If you look at some listings I've done, or even friends' books, like Tomer did that book, Riding the Amazon Wave. If you check out the reviews, I'm the only video on the whole thing.
That's very clever.
So they can leave reviews as an influencer and on listings. And I don't know, I'm always scared with Amazon, but I don't think it's TOS against TOS, but I do it for my own products that I'm a seller of. And
I'm thinking you're probably getting away with that because you are, I guess, a registered type of influencer. I'm not sure if a registered is the right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a reviewer. Expression. I've been a reviewer myself as a buyer for books and products for years. And I qualify for the influencer program, and I have a back end for it as a buyer. And then I do videos. They review them. Amazon approves them, and they show up on the listings. It's not as a seller, it's as a buyer.
Oh, of course, there's also that Amazon influencer program. Did you mention that, Chris? Where it's not off Amazon. It's actually those Amazon live feeds, and there are quite a few influencers, including Norm. Norm Farrar sort of doing some of that. Nice. So that's an opportunity to find. It's a live feed that Amazon's got going all the time. You can get your product into the hands of one of those influencers, and there are some companies that actually do it where you pay them, but there are also plenty of up and coming Amazon influencers who will do it for the for the exposure and for the free product.
That's right.
So that's something that's worth a try if you want to send out one or two products and see how it goes. Yeah, so that's actually on Amazon, but it's using an influencer, so it's a bit of a blend. Best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, Tim Jordan was also talking about during one of his presentations, sort of on this, Regina, was to find Amazon associates and who their big influencers were in your niche. So let's say that you were going to launch, I don't know, a camping chair or something. What he does is he goes to YouTube and he types in camping chair, which is the product, or camping equipment or something. And then he also in the search term uses a keyword which is AMZ.TK or TO or something like that. It's like basically it's the Amazon influencer link. Yeah, you know what this is, Mike. Yeah. I can't remember exactly what the link is, but it's the shortened link for Amazon.
I think you're right.
So, yeah. So what he does is he'll search on Google, YouTube, search on YouTube to look for all the video reviews of people reviewing camping equipment that are Amazon affiliates or associates already, because they've got their links in their descriptions, right? And so then he can quickly go, this person has 5,000 subscribers or 10,000, whatever. So he can quickly go through and work out and identify who he wants to reach out to with the brand referral bonus. Here's a brand referral bonus if you promote my thing on, and unbox it or whatever. And so he draws a lot of traffic from YouTube onto his listings as well. Sorry, all this stuff's coming back to me as we talk about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then I've heard that strategy. So I don't, I think it was Mayor, my friend, he says he contacts ones that just has an update the backlink on the video or add his link.
Yeah, so that can be done too.
You don't even need to make a new video. You just have them add your link. Maybe even sometimes, a lot of times there are dead links because those products are no longer available. Yeah. And the YouTuber doesn't even know that those products are not available. So you find those dead links and then just contact them and say, hey, that guy's product's out, but this is my product. And I'll also give you like a BR brand for a bonus or commissions on top. So then they don't even have to make a new video. They just change
changing up a link. Yeah. So you could just edit the link that keeps on giving, right?
Oh, that. How good's that?
I know. because there are like Chrome extensions and stuff where you can actually scan a page to see if any links to 404ing, page not found. So
I don't know if he had.
I don't think that'll work actually.
For that, but I mean, he was just seeing some top YouTube videos of products that he sold, but I think it's a high percent because you know how Amazon is. People take products offline or out of stock or whatever, or you could just say add mine as an additional one. Keep theirs. Just why not give them another link, another product like an alternative,
another option.
So you don't have to compete. You just say, hey, why not? You just get more chances to make money, or like as an affiliate. Well, this is awesome. I think we're a little bit at time, but I think we covered a lot that we wanted to. Maybe we just wrap up. Just to recap, maybe Regina also can just share again the AustralianSeller.com/Bali, BALI, and June for the month
18th to the 22nd. Yep. So if you're flying in, you want to arrive around into Bali Airport sort of at the latest early afternoon to make sure you've got time to get to the resort and dolled up for welcome drinks. Nice. And then plan on leaving in the afternoon of the Thursday, the 22nd, and come and learn not just from experts like Chris, but other fantastic sellers and our VIP international guests who have got, I don't know how many years if we put it all together, but decades of experience that can help you level up your business and your brand at whatever level you are now. You pretty much guarantee, in the next 12 months, you'll more than get your investment back in terms of relationships and tips and tricks and ideas and personal and business growth that you'll get from joining us in Bali.
For sure. And if the people, if listen to the show, let them know that that you heard from Globe from Asia.
Yeah. Look, when we talk to you, one of our first questions we ask is, where did you hear about the event? So absolutely. Please make sure you let us know that you heard about the event through this podcast.
Yeah, and then I know some friends are in Thailand. We're discussing coming. So maybe if somebody's listening wants to go with us, fly with us, let us know. We can arrange travel together from Thailand.
Be amazing.
Or Singapore.
That'd be awesome.
Some people. I don't think I have a direct flight, so I might meet some others.
Oh, you've got to go via direct flights from Bangkok to Bali?
No, I'm in Chiang Mai. So I'm in
Chiang Mai. Okay.
Through Chiang Mai. I mean, through Bangkok or Singapore. But I might do Singapore because I have quite a few friends there now to meet up. Okay.
Nice.
Well, that's a wrap. Really, really appreciate having you both back, and our Regina first time, but Chris regular here.
Oh, thank you. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great. All right, and appreciate.
It's been amazing. Thanks, Mike.
All the hacks.
Good to catch up, man.
Cheers. Take care, everybody. And thank you to our sponsor, our returning sponsor, Mercury.com, online bank. Well, it's a real bank, but you can do it totally online for US. Our Blimp program participants are going through this as well. Thank you, Mercury. Travis is great there. He's been on our show. He's been in our events. We're going to have another event where we will have them attending as well. And if you want to get a little bonus for you and us, if you sign up and do some special circumstances, you can go to globalfromasia.com/Mercury. I also have a video tutorial that we use even for the Blimp people. I use the same exact video to learn how to use it. I hope you can check it out. Totally free. Why not? See you there. Hey, Maggie.
Hi.
All right. That's my daughter, Maggie. Big girl, huh? So, thank you, Chris and Regina, for sharing. I'm excited for Bali. Oh, she's got the cat. She got him. Got her. It's a girl cat. Here at my house, actually. So, I hope you enjoyed that. I got a lot of valuable info. Thank you, Chris. He's done some private ones for us, some public ones for us. Gave amazing hacks and strategies about launching within mostly in Amazon, which I think a lot of us here are interested in. We'll also have this at globalfromasia.com/product launch 2023. So you can get this in video, audio, transcribed, and others. So I really appreciate that, and also I hope to get you in Bali. It's going to be a small little quaint retreat with some top people in the industry. And of course, further out is our Cross-Border Summit in November, 2-day event here in Chiang Mai. You might meet my daughter too, and she'll probably be hanging out at this event. Maybe just get her to work. Anyway, I think that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Have a great day.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.